information. There we go. So like I stated, I'm Dennis Nick, aka Spiritual Romeo, and I'm excited. Fam, I'm so excited to be able to bring you this information. I believe it is a game-changing information. I really want to thank my wife for really encouraging me. She said, Dennis, you need to get something behind your name to really let people know that you are serious about what you're doing. So I got certified. I'm a behavior consultant, certified behavior consultant now. So I have something behind me that validates what I am talking about. I'm excited to say I've written several books. Doing it God's way, it works. That's dealing with if you're single or engaged and you're about to look to get married. That's what that book is about. Unbroken vows, keeping it together. That's my last project for which I wrote that's dealing with marriage. And then I have a new book. It's coming out soon. It's being edited, put together, and I'm letting you know it is a great book. People will come to me and like, Dennis, I wonder if you can write a book about singles. Letting you know, family, this is an amazing book. If you're single, this is something to encourage you single and let you know that you are great. Understand your purpose, the foundation of what you were created. You can go to my website and be able to get any of those items. And other project for which I did is dealing with marriage. I sat down with 7 couples over 140 years worth of marital experience. They provide information I believe is amazing. If you're married or about to get married, that is a great DVD that you can watch information upon it. And I'm gonna let you know, family, in focusing on yourself and building yourself, there's 3 things I need for you to understand when you're looking to focus on areas pertaining to your relationship. You're whole, you need to make yourself available, and you need to take advantage of opportunities. Now, the first thing we're looking at being whole, I want you to understand that makes you are complete. So you need to understand you're not an accident, you're on purpose. When God created you, he created you with one thing in mind. He wanted you to understand you're 100%. You like that one song, Teddy Pendergrass, now 30, 40, 60, whatever. My thing is that you are 100%. So if you are 100%, when you were put together, he put you together with elements from an example of being excellence. These are things that he felt like you needed in order for your life to be phenomenal. Now, the next thing I want you to understand, you need to make yourself available to opportunities. Take advantage of opportunities. When doors are open, the only way you can walk in that door if you make yourself available to walk in that door. You are suitable. You provide a service in you being made available. Don't hold back. I'm letting you know right now. Don't hold back anything. You need to be full throttle. You need to be all in the things that you really want to do. And then you need to understand you are a reliable resource. If you're a reliable resource by making yourself available, guess what? Now, point number 3, people can take advantage of the opportunity. You need to take advantage of opportunities. And by doing that, you set circumstances. You need to understand it is possible. It is possible. Set it in your mind. I'm taking advantage of these opportunities because it was made possible. Be positive. Be positive. Be positive minded. Think from a positive perspective. You need to look at situations. Make sure you're self-aware. Set goals in place. When you set goals in place, have a mindset that say, hey, I can accomplish these goals. And when you can do the thing, put yourself in a good position. Now, one thing that I did by getting certified into this program, some people say, okay, what is this? What this does? It focuses on 4 primary areas. It's focused on a dominant. It's focused on a dominant influence. Influence deal with I, and S is someone that's steady, and C is someone that is compliant. Those 4 letters, we have one of those letters. Me, myself, I'll be able to tell you which one I am, but we have one of those letters. But the one thing about this program, there is a reliable resource. It's very accurate. It's been around for a long, long time. You can trust it. But one thing that it does that I love, it opens the door for effective communication. One of the struggles that people have in their relationship is this area called communication. So what I'm going to do, let me give you a little history about, dealing with the personality traits and how it actually started. You have back in 444 BC, I always get tongue-tied, Epicletes was the one that actually started this. And he said there are 4 areas dealing with fire, air, earth, and water. he said those are dealing with elements. He believed that it was the elements that affects the way we do certain things. And then in 400 BC, then we came out, the Hippocrates, he came out with, he had these four things. He said these are the influence dealing with fluids. So you had choleric, sanguine, phlegmatic, and melancholic. Those are the four areas that he came in, and actually they're still using these even today. So that's been around for a while. And then Carl Jung came out with his perspective. He said it had to do with someone believing personality, their perspective, their thought process, intuition, sensitivity, feeling, and thinking. So that was his perspective. But then Mr. William Marstead, he came out with this theory. He said, you know what? I believe it is these four letters, which I'm certified to deal with being a dominant, influential, someone that is steady, and someone that is compliant. Those are the four things. He said that's based off your emotion. He actually even wrote a book called Emotion of Normal People. He said that's what it's all about. And so what I'm going to do now you understand dealing with the personality trait, I'm going to show you a short video that talks about the personality traits. Go back. And there we go.
Your success in life, both professional and personal, is largely determined by how well you interact with others. You've probably noticed it is very easy to get along with certain people. You almost instantly and effortlessly understand the other person. The communication just flows. Unfortunately, with most people, communication takes more effort. You cannot quite understand where the other person is coming from, what they really want, and what their intentions are. You may also have an uncomfortable feeling the other person is having a similar experience. During the course of a conversation, have you lost a sale, frustrated a customer, demotivated an employee, or angered a friend? On top of that, did the interaction make you disappointed, frustrated, and even tired? It takes energy, effort, and concentration, and still, the results are not what you hoped they would be. Extended DISC provides you with the model to have more successful interactions with others. You will learn the 4 DISC styles, how to identify who you are and how others perceive you, leading to a more confident self-awareness, how to better read other people and understand them, and how to modify your behavior to become even more successful. Extended DISC is based on the most widely used and accepted model of human behavior. The power of this model is that it is easy to learn, understand, and use because it identifies only 4 behavioral styles of individuals. People can be divided into 4 main styles by identifying if they are more people or task-oriented, reserved, or active. The resulting 4 behavioral styles are called D style, I style, S style, and C style. As you learn about the 4 DISC styles, please keep these important points in mind. None of the styles are better or worse. Each DISC style has strengths and development areas. However, the strengths and development areas are different for each style. DISC styles do not limit what an individual can accomplish or how successful someone can be. It simply predicts how an individual tends to do things. Highly successful individuals can be any of the 4 DISC styles. However, successful people have a confident self-awareness and have the ability to modify their style with different people and situations to become even more successful. Continue watching the rest of the extended DISC training series to learn more about each style.
All right. As we look at modern day application dealing with the DISC program for which I'm certified in, it deals with areas for which I'm able to teach. I'm able to teach areas dealing with self-employment, self-improvement, leadership, sales influence, influence people dealing with sales, managing stress, hiring management. But the one thing that I'm excited about is dealing with relationship building. That's the one I really have a heart of hearts. But all those areas I'm able to teach and show you how you can apply this in order to make your life that much better. Now, I'm going to show you people are very predictable. And I'm going to show you how people are predictable. what I'm about to do, I'm about to show you these numbers. As you see, there's a whole bunch of numbers here. So what I want you to do, I'm gonna give you 30 seconds. I'm gonna give you 30 seconds, and then what I want you to do, I want you to find the numbers in order. You're going 1, 2, 3, 4, just go in order. I'm gonna give you 30 seconds. I'm gonna see what what number you come up with. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and begin. Ten seconds have elapsed. Yep, 20 seconds remain. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. And I'm quite sure you guys, you got to a certain number. Some of you probably got 10. Some of you probably got as high as, 14 or whatever the case may be. But you were able to identify the number. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to help you out a little bit. I'm showing you there is a particular pattern that it goes through. So what I'm going to do, someone's trying to get it, is you can see the particular pattern. You have 1 is in the top left, 2 is in the top right, 3 is in the bottom right, 4 is in the bottom left. And it continues in that particular order. So with it being that particular order, you'll be able to notice, and that should be able to help you out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you 30 more seconds, and I'm going to see what you're able to accomplish. Ready and begin. "15 seconds has elapsed. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. Now, you guys should have done much better than what you did previously. And it's based upon you recognizing the pattern. The patterns are key. The patterns are important. The pattern is essential in you developing a healthy relationship, your kids developing a healthy relationship, even in school. Recognizing the pattern is key. And I want to ask you one question. If you can look at this, what is the number one cause of miscommunication? And then I have a definition defining what miscommunication is. It's a mistaken, unclear, you're not clear about the conversation. Have a little cartoon here that's asking you, do you even hear the words I'm saying? Say, yeah, the ones I like. That husband and wife thing right there. So that can help you out right there. So you can see what misunderstanding, but the number one key to misunderstanding is actual people. People, that's key. When you understand and misunderstand based upon people, the problem isn't people. The problem is people are different. As you see, some are more talkative, some are nonverbal, some are aggressive, some are laid back, some are team players, some are loners, some are some are carefree. We are all different. And when we can understand the pattern and recognize that we are all different, we can build a much better relationship with one another. And there are 4 basic areas or 4 basic types when it comes with people around the world. You're dealing with, first one we're going to deal with is more of your active, outgoing personnel. That's people outgoing, optimistic, outspoken. These people, are very positive. That's what these people are an example of. And then you have your more passive. These are people more reserved. They're laid back. They're much slower pace. These people actually, they like to finish projects. These are passive reserved. Then you have task oriented. They get things done. They like dealing with tasks. They like organization. They like to plan. That's the type of task oriented. Like you want to give them tasks. And then you have people oriented. These people deal with more relationships. These people are easygoing, carefree, dealing with their feelings, emotions. That's what these people are. And remember, there's 4 different areas. One of these areas are a reflection of you. Me, I'm more of a people-oriented people. I love people. I love engaging and interacting with people. But remember, we all have a letter, D-I-S-C. Now, looking at the D's, and we're going to look at the same purchasing a vehicle. We're going out to buy a car. From a D's perspective, a D, they will look at the big SUVs. Remember, D, they want what they want, but they want a good deal. That's the mindset of a D. When they go out and speak with the salesperson, that's their mindset. An I is dealing more. They want the Wi-Fi. They want stuff to stand out. They want stuff, like that pow. They tend to overpay sometimes for purchasing a vehicle because they want all the gadgets in the car. Yet S, they want to make sure, that's going to have that extended warranty, dealing with the S. They think about the family, protecting the family. You want to make sure, okay, the family is protected. And then you have your C. They're very C's. They do their research. They're going to look into this. So before they go out and see the salesperson, they do the research. The only way that salesperson is going to get that C out of purchasing the vehicle that they have the mindset on, they're going to really have to explain them something that they haven't, that they don't know. So that's dealing with C. But you can see each one of these letters are different. None is better than the other, but they all are different. We all have a particular pattern. But each one of these letters have a particular fear or a particular concern. Your D, they don't want to be taken advantage of. I, they hate rejection. Your S, loss of security. And your C, criticism. They cannot stand to be criticized. So the first letter we're going to deal with is the actual D.
D styles are the most forceful and assertive of the 4 disc styles. D styles tend to be direct, results-oriented, competitive, and strong-willed. Ds prefer to move fast, take risks, and get things done immediately. They like challenges and are multitaskers. D styles want to create change. Routine is boring to them. Ds want to be in charge and have the power and control. D's motto is, I did it my way. One of the D style's biggest fears is to lose control. D styles often communicate in one direction. They talk and expect others to listen. At times, Ds express their own opinions as facts, needing no further discussion or input. D styles may be blunt and challenge others. Ds are impatient listeners and have a tendency to interrupt. D style's favorite question is, what? What is the bottom line? What's in it for me? D styles want to make independent decisions and make them quickly. Since Ds don't need a lot of information to swiftly decide and are comfortable taking risks, they're more likely to make wrong decisions. However, D styles get over their mistakes quickly and move on by keeping the big picture in mind. Under pressure, D styles can show a lack of concern for others because they are focusing on the tasks. As a result, others may perceive D styles as being too aggressive, blunt, and even rude. At times, Ds can also be impatient and overbearing. Ds are often not good listeners and prone to making quick decisions. D styles have a tendency to overlook how their actions and behaviors affect others. D styles succeed by being decisive, taking risks, and focusing on the big picture, results, and goals. Ds are quick to take action, venture into risky and new situations, keep others moving forward, and are not hesitant to communicate their opinions. Continue watching the rest of the extended disc training series to learn more about the other styles.
All right. Now we're going to get more into the Ds. Ds are 3% of the world. So 3% of the world population are Ds. Ds are like the lion. They're very dominant. These are cholerics. They're very direct, very decisive. Here are some people who actually have a dominant D. You have Martin Luther King, civil rights leader. You have Lady Gaga. You have, the singer-songwriter Michael Jordan, recognized one of the greatest basketball players to ever play, Arnold Schwarzenegger, actor, former governor, bodybuilder. You had Donald Trump, as well as you have Margaret Thatcher. So when I saw this, family, I'll let you know, it really helped me understand Donald Trump much better than I did. Because when I went through it, I said, okay, I see why he act the way he act, or he do the things that he do. He wants to be in control of everything. He's very direct. He wanted to depend on himself. That's a dominant D personality trait. So that's the one thing that he has. So in looking at the D, when they're looking at the characteristics of a D, they're task-oriented. They seek authority. They're very competitive. They want to compete all the time. Even so, think about your relationship with you. If you're married, think about your spouse. Some of these things are going to probably, make sense to you. Oh man, I see why. Yeah, that's my husband. Or that's my wife. Yeah, because it's not gender. It's not gender bias. But remember I was telling you, this is their fear. They don't want to be taken advantage of. So if they're a dominant D, they don't want to be taken advantage of. When they are part of a team and you have a D, they are strong organizers. They want to challenge the status quo, and they're result oriented. They're about the results. They want to say, okay, show me the results. If you want to keep their attentions, show them where they're all about results. They want to get results. Now, the thing that motivates a D, new challenges, giving them new challenges, positive, they think about position over power. They want to be in that position of power. So they want to make sure they stand there, find out how they can get to the top. You don't want to change their environment. That motivates them. Like, oh man, we're doing something different. That motivates them. That encourages them. Now, the ideal environment is dealing with the D. Focus on the future. You want to make sure it's non-routine. It's challenge. You want to challenge them a little bit. You want to make sure, understand the project, dealing with their purpose. We want to make sure, like I said, it's result-oriented. The occupational characteristics of a D is goal-oriented. You need to make sure you can show them the whole and complete picture. Insight, dealing with the production. You want to make sure you give them insight for oversight, dealing with productivity. They're all about the productivity in dealing with a D. Now, when the things that you do, when you're communicating with the D, you want to make sure you stay on task. Keep it on task. You want to make sure you're very clear. Make sure you come prepared and focus on the facts. These are things you want to do to make sure you keep them engaged. The things you don't want to do in dealing with a D, you don't want to take it personal. You don't want to be rambling a whole lot. You don't want to waste their time. Don't be talkative. That's dealing with a D. If you're one of the other letters, remember I said it's a D-I-S-C. If you are I, you want to make sure that you communicate very direct with dealing with a D, dealing with facts. You don't want to ramble. If you are S, you want to be quick. You want to make sure your pace is very quick. You want to make sure you have a present idea, speaking with confidence. And if you are C, present realistic facts. Focus on the solution. That's what you want to do. All right, the next letter we're going to focus on is the I. This is me. I'm an I.
I styles are outgoing, energetic, social, talkative, and enjoy being the center of attention. I styles like interaction with others and meeting new people, but do not like to focus on details or spend a lot of time alone. I styles are seen as very friendly, enthusiastic, and animated. Eyes are optimistic, positive, and good at influencing others. Social acceptance is very important for I styles. They like to be liked and fear social rejection. I's motto is, I am a nice person. Everyone should like me. I styles communicate in a way that inspires and promotes their messages. They talk a lot, but not about details. I styles will avoid unpleasant subjects and may not always be direct. An I's favorite question is who? Who is going to be at the meeting? Who's in this with me? I styles decision making is relatively fast. I's are typically not interested in a lot of detail and supporting information. I styles decisions are often based on intuition, emotions, and are optimistic about the outcomes of their decisions. I's keep others in mind when making decisions because they prefer to make popular and favorable choices. Under pressure, I styles can appear disorganized because they focus so much on people and being accepted that they may overlook details and tasks. I styles can also be seen as overly talkative and emotional. I's may overpromise because they are so optimistic and eager to be liked. I's may be perceived as somewhat careless, impulsive, and liking follow-up. I styles succeed by being positive, energetic, and enthusiastic. I styles add openness, generate discussion, and offer new ideas to move forward. Eyes connect people and create an enjoyable and positive atmosphere. I styles get others involved and excited to move toward goals. Continue watching the rest of the extended disc training series to learn more about the other styles.
All right. Here are your eyes. Eyes. We are the autos. So we're energetic, a whole bunch of energy. They're influential. One thing, they're sanguine, they're inspiring. They're 11% of the population. The individual, you have Elton John, who is a singer. Lucille Ball. Lucille Ball was an actor. You have Bono. We have Katy Perry, which is a singer. And then we have President Barack Obama. If you really think about his presidency, people really love him because of how he interacted with people. You will see him singing, you will see him being involved. So I'm gonna let you know, if you're trying to have a party, make sure you have the eye in the party. They're gonna make sure that everyone have a great time. That's their personality. They want to have fun. So characteristic of an eye, like I said, they want to have fun. They're people oriented. They're not afraid to show emotions. That's why, I would cry. I have no problem crying. That's just one of my personality traits, as well as President Obama. You saw him cry quite a bit. That's who he is. They're outgoing. They're very optimistic, positive. You want to have them, if you need some encouragement, make sure you contact an eye. But the one thing that we can't stand is rejection. We do not like to be rejected. If you want to turn the eye off, reject them. They will be turned completely off. Now, them being a part of the team, they're great as far as being able to encourage other members on the team. If the team is down, I is going to make sure they encourage. They are great networkers. A lot of eyes are in network marketing, MLMs, because they're energetic. They get people charged up, fired up, like, hey, you need to look at this. This is some great stuff. They're from a positive perspective, and they're great negotiators. They want to negotiate. If you're on a roof and you're a police officer, you want to send the eye, like, hey, you don't want to die. They're going to talk to them, try to encourage them and motivate them not to give their life away. So that eye, that's who you want to have. They're motivated by flattery. So you have a husband, you're trying to, what can I do? Give them a compliment if they're the eye. Popularity, they want to be the life of the party. And you want to accept them. That's how you want to deal with your eye. If your husband or spouse, that's how you want to do. You want to accept them. They like to be accepted. They don't want to be changed. Ideal environment, they love freedom. They want to be free like a bird. They want to be able to express their ideas. Make sure you're open to hear their ideas. They enjoy group activities. Those are the things for which they love doing. Occupations dealing with they're going to volunteer. Something needs to be done. Okay, I got it. Give it to me. I'll take care of it. Now they want to think from a new activity. They think about their mind is always turning. My wife said my brain is always going. She said, you always think about other stuff. They love because they're very creative, very colorful. They like I said, fun, energy, energetic. So they are the life of the party. Remember I tell you, they are energetic, enthusiastic. Those are things that are a reflection of an eye. The other things that you do, these are how you engage. These are things you want to do. And you want to allow them to talk about themselves. They want to talk about themselves. They like to be able to communicate with people. They want to be able to include it into the conversation. So if you're having a conversation, you want to invite them into the conversation. You want to make sure that you are sharing your thoughts and ideas with an eye. They do not like to be, like they're not a part of a group. And most of all, they love to have fun. They want to have a great time. If you have an eye, the scene is not going to be boring. An eye going to make sure everybody's enjoying themselves. The one thing you don't want to do, you don't want to take away their social time. They want to, have a great time. One thing I enjoy doing is bowling. We're not bowling right now. And trust you me, I love to bowl. That's one of the things that I enjoy doing. So one thing you don't want to do, you don't want to do all the talking. You want to allow them to talk. You know, like I said, you don't want to shut that part of them down. You want to keep them engaged. Don't shut it down. You don't want to interrupt them. If I'm talking, I hate to be interrupted. Allow me to finish my thoughts, because what I have to say is important. And you need to make sure you don't want to overload them with detail. You want to give them bullet points. If you're trying to make a point, give them bullet points. A whole bunch of, detail, they do not like that. How to deal with the I? If you are a D, you want to make you take the time to listen. Remember, the D, they want to be in control, but you want to hear what the I have to say if you are a D. If you are S, you want to be friendly. You want to make complimentary to an I. You want to make sure you listen to their ideas. Then a C, you don't want to expect facts and focus on a positive. That's what you need to do in dealing with, if you'll see, engaging with an I. Now, next letter we're going to deal with is the S.
S styles are steady, calm, sincere, and laid back. While they do like interaction with other people, they're more reserved and less animated than I styles. S styles are eager to help and support others. S's enjoy working in a team environment and often will loyally defend their own group or team. Fairness and justice are very important to S styles. They don't like to disappoint others or let them down. Since S styles prefer stability and security, they tend to resist change and may need support with it. S styles' biggest fear is loss of stability. S's motto is, if it's not broken, let's not fix it. S styles' communication is often one-directional. They listen. S's are polite and answer when asked. S styles are most comfortable communicating in one-on-one situations. S styles speak calmly, are good at building trust, and are patient listeners. S styles' favorite question is, how? How are we going to do this? How does this impact us? S styles are prone to be cautious and slower in their decision making because they consider the impact of their decisions on others. S styles commonly double check their decisions and often talk them over with someone they trust before making the final decision. S styles look for support and precedence and information to ensure they make the best decision. Since S styles have a tendency to be overly accommodating and polite, under pressure they become too willing to help and give in to the decisions of others. S styles frequently say yes too easily by putting the needs of others ahead of their own. S styles can also stubbornly hold on to the status quo to protect their sense of security. At times, S styles overestimate the amount of work involved. S styles succeed by being very persistent and maintaining a long-term perspective. While S styles are sometimes slower to initiate action, once they do, they are unstoppable. S styles get things done and ensure tasks are completed well. S styles execute reliably and consistently. Continue watching the rest of the extended disc training series to learn more about the other styles.
All right, that was your S. Your S are your Labrador retrievers. Most of the world populations are S. They equate for 69%. They're very stable, they're phlegmatic, they're steady, they're very secure, and they like to save up. My wife is an S. They like to save. I think my sister's an S. Yeah, they like to save. That's the thing about them. Nelson Mandela was an S. Brad Pitt, he's an S. You have also J.K. Rowling is an S. Will Smith is an S. And then you have Mother Teresa. See, these are phenomenal people. And as I said, as it stated at the very beginning, not one is more, dominant than the other. These are just our personality traits. So the characteristics of an S need you to understand they're very steady. They are very consistent. That's the one thing about an S. They're a hard worker. They will take on extra tasks. I tell my wife, I said, you sometimes you are just too nice. Yes, because oh yeah, I'll do it, give it to me. Because they are very loyal. They're a loyal team player. If you have an S on your team, they're going to be committed all the way to the end. But their greatest fear is loss of security. Dealing with the S, they're very cautious about jumping out there. They're going to make sure that ice is solid before they step out. I'm not going to do that. I don't trust it. If they don't trust it, it's not going to do it. That's the one thing about an S. And when you have them involved with your team, they're S, you can depend on or rely on an S. They're very dependable. They respect authority. If you're in a position of authority, an S is going to respect that. They're great listeners. They like to listen, hear what you have to say. They work to keep the peace. They want everybody to be happy. They will bend over backwards just to ensure that everyone is happy. Now, the ideal environment when you're looking to put an S in, you want something that has little changes. They like I said, that consistency. They do not like surprises. They like to be made aware. It doesn't mean you shouldn't get them some gift, but they don't like to be something to be sprung up on them. One thing that my wife can't stand is people just pop up over at the house. She can't stand it. She doesn't like surprises. She wants to be prepared. So she's very stable. She's very persistent. These are S's. So these are the things that the S likes to do. Occupational characteristics of a S, they're very competent. They're very steady. They're very consistent. Administrative abilities. So if you put an S in an administrative position, they should flourish. They should do a great job. They're great under pressure. Being an administrative role, they'll take on a whole bunch of tasks. They'll organize it, and they will do a great job because they're great counselors. If you're looking for an S would do for as a job, an S would do a phenomenal job as far as being a counselor because they are great listeners. They have an ear to hear what you have to say. These are things you want to do when you're engaging with an S. You want to have genuine interest in what the S is doing or what they're saying. Clear and defining role. You want to define their roles clearly. You're a supervisor dealing with the S, define their role. Be very specific, like this is what I want you to do. So we want to provide them clarification. Like I said, clarifying their role. They don't like to be made, security. They want to know, okay, this is what you want me to do. And they're friendly and polite. Be friendly. Be very polite to an S. These are things you do. Things you don't want to do as it pertains to an S. You want to avoid being pushy. They don't like to be pushed around, taking their kindness, for granted. So they don't like to be pushed around, trying to demand them to do certain things. Don't be overly aggressive with dealing with an S. And the other thing, you don't want to be rude or impolite. You want to make sure you treat them with kindness. Now, if you're a D engaging with an S, you want to avoid being pushy. Be open, friendly, easygoing. If you're an I, you want to talk less. You want to make sure there's balance in communicating with them. You have to make sure you listen to them. A C, you want to make sure you are relaxed. You want to make sure that you are very consistent. Make sure you just try to enjoy the time you're spending when it comes to dealing with the S. And the last letter we're going to deal with is the C.
Styles are the most analytical of the 4 disc styles. Cs can be perfectionist, detail-oriented, and focused on facts, information, and proofs. C styles are comfortable working alone and are the most reserved of the 4 styles. C styles are logical, systematic, cautious, and methodical. Cs focus on working with the existing circumstances to ensure high quality of product or service. C styles' biggest fear is criticism of their work. Cs make sure that everything works the way it should. C's motto is, if we don't have time to do it right, do we have time to do it over again? C styles prefer written communication and to include extensive facts and details. They tend not to share their own opinions unless they know the subject matter well. C styles' favorite question is, why? Why does it work this way? Why is this step necessary in the process? C styles are focused on making correct decisions and avoiding mistakes. As a result, their decision making is exact and accurate. However, this can slow down their decision making. C styles can overanalyze issues and require a lot of information. Under pressure, C styles can be overly critical of others. They have a tendency to be so focused on the details that they often find small mistakes and errors. C styles' attention to detail and correctness may be seen as nitpicky by other styles, but C styles expect even more of themselves. Cs can be very self-critical. Under pressure, C styles continue to gather more information to guide their decision and actions, further slowing down progress. C styles succeed by systematically focusing their efforts on the task at hand. They are not easily distracted and are focused on producing high-quality work. C styles approach tasks and projects well prepared. Frequently, C styles become very knowledgeable and skilled, even experts in their field. Continue watching the rest of the extended disc training series to learn more about the other styles.
All right. Dealing with your C's. And trust me, the C's probably already calculated what their percentage are. That's because, like I said, they like to plan. So they already know there's 17%. And so they're compliant, they're melancholy, but they're beavers. That's dealing with, let's see, they're very creative. They like to create and build stuff. They like to control things. They like to be correct. They do not like to be wrong. C like to be correct. You have Albert Einstein is a C. You have Condoleezza Rice, former U.S. Senator, Secretary of State, excuse me. You have Bill Gates is a C. You have Steve Jobs is a C. And then you have Spock, who's also a C. These are some individuals who are very successful individuals who are actually C's. Now, characteristics of a C is they like to follow rules and regulation. They don't like to go outside the line. They like to think, they want to make sure things are realistic. They can attain these things. So they're very honest. Like, hey, no, I don't think I can do that. So they're very honest with themselves. They're great at solving problems. So they do a great job at solving problems. So if you need a problem solver, you want to look for an actual C. But their greatest fear is criticism. Criticizing them and dealing with conflict. They cannot stand that. That will irritate them dealing with a C. So having them a part of your team, being an actual team member, as far as a C, they're dependable. You can depend on the C. They pay attention to details. They want to look for the facts, looking for details. They want to make sure they analyze the information. So when they look at the information, they're going to look over to make sure the information is correct. Now, the things that motivates a C is the standard, high quality. That motivates them. They want to make sure that they operate from the position of excellence. They want to make sure they limit social interaction is dealing with an actual C. Other thing is that they detail tasks. These are the things that how you motivate them. You want to detail and task oriented. Dealing with an ideal environment, the environment that you want to put a C in, you want to make sure you specialize in tasks, technical stuff. There are a lot of C's that do a great job as far as technicians. So that's the thing in dealing with a C. Practical work procedures. That's the thing about dealing with a C. And few conflicts and argument. They do not like to argue. They don't like conflicts. You want to make sure you minimize any type of conflicts that you potentially will have with an actual C. Occupational characteristics is dealing with the C. You want to make sure you deal schedule. A C is going to make sure they're on time. They are not going to be late for work. A C going to make sure they leave, they will consider traffic, they will consider everything and make sure they are not late for work because they're dependable. They're very persistent. They're very persistent. They're going to be organized. They're going to have things together. When you interact with the C, they're going to have their stuff together. They're going to also provide a solution to a problem. Have a problem issue, give it to the C. They'll solve it for you because they're going to make sure they do the research and make sure they're very detailed, make sure their stuff is clear. These are the things you do if you're interacting with a C. Once you want to make sure you provide facts. You want to define the plan. You want to make sure you give them analyzing the information. That's how you deal with an actual C. The things you don't want to do in dealing with a C, you don't want to criticize them. You want to make sure you stay positive when it comes to come with the C. You want to make sure you are prepared, minimize prepared talking points. You want to make sure you're very detailed. You want to make sure you answer question. Don't be vague. You don't want to be vague. You don't want to do that. You make sure you're very detailed. And you want to make sure things you don't want to do, obsolete data. Make sure your information is current because it will really irritate them. You give them information like, oh, this information is old. This is outdated. You're going to really turn off the conversation with them. So if you give them information, make sure you're accurate. So if you are an actual D dealing with an actual C, this is how you do. You want to make sure you slow down, detail. You want to make sure you paint a good picture for them. If you are I, make sure you do your homework if you're engaging with a C. If you are S, be ready to answer questions. A C is going to ask you questions. You're going to make sure, okay, what about this? What about that? So you make sure you prepared yourself. So now we're going to look at some combination of these letters. So when you're looking at an IS are great listeners, counselors, combining those two. When you're looking at a D and a C, think of like a computer. They think, you know, going to work is fun. That's how they view it. A S and a C combination, passive thinker. They want it right. And your I and your D, these are your doers. They want to make sure they do the right thing. Now, your trust module is the next part. Dealing with things for which you trust, dealing with people, how you trust people. Now, the areas that we want to look at, like I said at the beginning, you have you see, they see. If you're in a relationship, it's what you see and what the other person see. So the areas that makes you comfortable is dealing with your areas and potential. Your arena, that is dealing with I know, you know. That means we both know the information, so that's balance there. So when you know the information, I know the information. That's an area for which I am comfortable being in. Dealing with your blind spot, that means you know something that I don't know. So if you know something that I don't know, that makes me feel uncomfortable because now you have information. I'm like, okay, I don't know this, and you're talking about stuff that I don't know. That makes you very uncomfortable. Now, when they're dealing with potential, I don't know, you don't know. So we starting at ground zero. We both don't know the information. And a mask means I know, you don't know. That means I know something that you don't know. It's an uncomfortable environment. Now I'm telling you stuff and you're like, okay, you're thinking of a relationship, like, okay, you communicate with, I don't know it. So now it's like I'm making myself vulnerable. So these are when it comes to dealing with the trust module. You want to make sure you can trust the relationship, trust the environment. That's how you deal with a situation like that. And so remember, at the very beginning, it showed you, remember, a D is 3% of the population, the I is 11%, the S is 69%, and the C is 17%. You have your active, you have your people, passive, and task-oriented. We fall in one of these categories. We fall in one of these areas. And so when you fall in one of those areas, that will help you understand and develop, the best relationship with people. Now, this is showing you like the areas where, the D and the C are a great combination. The I and the S, opposite attracts. And that's what we actually look at. And so this is a complete picture of the DISC assessment. And so that's what we can actually look at. Now, we're going to go to the active listener. This is key. This is so important. This is dealing with our children. I want, the DISC assessment, something will apply, but now I want to go and give you some additional information to help you understand if you have a child that is struggling with, making good grades or whatever case may be. I'm about to help you with understanding a couple of things or struggling to process information as it pertains to your spouse. This is what I want you to understand. It deals with you being an active listener. This is the acronym. It stands for LIST. LIST, L is listening. The I is dealing with understanding, indicated dealing with understanding. S is dealing with soliciting information, and your T is tell. So most of the time when someone talks to us and then we listen, then we want to talk. But we don't allow it to go through the process. Meaning I listen, I want to identify, get an understanding, then I want to make sure before I can solicit the information based upon I understand it, now I'm prepared to solicit it, and now I communicate it back to them. So it goes through a process. So as it goes through a process, we can do a much better job as listeners and communicators. But as it pertains to our children, there are 3 different ways that we go about learning. But a lot of time our school system only teach us one particular way. And that is, we want to make sure that these are our different learning styles. We have your hearers, you have the visuals, and those are actual hands-on. I'm more of a hands-on. I learn best when I put my hands on it. I can learn best that way. And our children are the same way. Not all kids do good by just sitting in the classroom and you talking to them. And so now with COVID, it is even worse because of the fact they're behind a computer and they want to put their hands on something they can't. So you can understand a lot of kids are going to struggle because their learning style is different. So I'm going to explain each one of them. When they're dealing with an auditory listener, this is a person that learns by hearing, listening, speaking, so engaging on the computer screen. So these people are going to do great because they learn best by dealing with information, dealing with listening, talking, engaging that way. They're sensitive to music, noise, word. That's what really engages them. They're sensitive to that. And their strength is they're good speakers. They're great debaters. They're able to describe things in word and understand it. That's how they express that. Now, visualizers, those who deals with their vision. These are people who learn best by watching, seeking, reading, visualizing stuff. They learn by body language, facial expression, illustration. They're sensitive to light. They're very sensitive to light, dealing with placement, graphs, diagrams on the board. Their strength, they're typically good at writing and reading. They do a great job because they are visualizers. They can visualize in things. And then this is actually me, kinetic learners. This is me, hands-on. These people learn best by doing it and touching. If we can get me to touch it, I can excel through it. They learn best by sense of touch. They make a mistake. They learn from it by going through it, going through the process. They're sensitive to actions. They touch things, they do things. So when they're engaged, they do a much better job. They will excel. Most of these people are great athletes, are good with their hands and being involved. That's how they learn. Now that's where those three areas, but if we can teach our children or even on your job, when you can learn which one of those areas you excel in, you can do a better job at whatever you're doing. Now, when it deals with these personality traits, and if you decide to end up doing one, you will get a graph back and it will explain the different areas. There are three areas that it actually deals with, and dealing with your first graph is dealing with your mass, behavior expression to others, how you interact with others, what you are showing others. Your C is your second graph is in the middle. That's dealing with your core, dealing with pressure. When pressure is placed upon you, the second graph will show you an example of which one of the letters that you mostly portray. And dealing with your third graph is the combination between your first and your second one, and that is your self-image, what you see in the mirror. This is what you see when you actually go in the mirror, when you see in the mirror. And so for those who are interested in taking the assessment, and I believe it is something that everyone I've actually taken two, I believe they're a great assessment. You can go to my website, it's right there, DennisNickens.com. You click on the product and you will be able to take the assessment. I give several assessments. I have a basic, have the 2D assessment, I have the 3D, 4D, then I also have the couples development kit, the couples counseling kit, then I also have group training where a business would like for me to come out and teach this, I can do that. And then we have Scholar. This is going into our children, dealing with the Scholar, your student, and then you're also dealing with your college. So I'm going to go through it briefly, quickly, to where you can understand the different assessment. And if there's something that you would like to do, you can just reach out to me at my website or send me an email for which I'll provide to you. The first one is, like I said, is dealing with the DISC assessment. It's $35. And what it is, it will identify one of those letters. You'll find out which one of the letters you are. And it will let you know, like, okay, it will discover your personality style. It will teach you how you communicate. The second one is your 2D. You're dealing with the BAI assessment. That deals with your behavior and your life passion, the things which you're passionate about. It will still give you your personality trait, but it just goes in a little bit more details. It's effective dealing with managers. This is a great tool if you're in a managerial position and you want some like members on your team to do this assessment. The third one is deal with more team building. You're looking to build your team. This will get into that, give it more value dealing with the team. It will give you the first two, but then it will deal with your team and show you how you guys can do a better job as far as working together. The more, and then your fourth one is dealing with your very complete, it has over 1,400 personality trait. It will give you that. It's very, it is actually 35 pages of information that you will be able to read and be able to understand and have a clear understanding how to engage people dealing with that assessment. The next one is dealing with your couples and developmental kit. Your couples and developmental kit is a great assessment if you are married and you're looking to develop a relationship or in a relationship. This is something that's great for you. You will receive one of my books as well as the DVD that I talked about. You will receive both of those, and you as well as your partner, your spouse, will be able to take an assessment together. You take one and they take one. You will get this information and you will be able to read over to learn about your personality trait. I think it's a great kit. Now, the one that dealing with your couple counseling kit, that's where you're going to get your DVD, your book. You will get both assessments, and then yours truly, I will schedule a time to where I will walk you through each one of them, and then I will show you how to understand one another, how you can relate to one another, show you where, the areas for which positives and the things for which you're looking to build. So this is where I will be able to sit down with you and make sure you understand how to make your relationship that much better. Your corporate training assessment, this is the one where actually I come out to a corporation for 4 hours. I will teach this. Everyone on your team will be able to take the assessment, and you will be able to learn about the assessment. Now we're going to get into dealing with our scholars, dealing with our kids. If your kids are 12 years age, 12 years old and up, this is a great beginner assessment for your kids. And the reason why, if you do the one that's dealing with the scholar, your kid, you're going to have one written assessment for the student, which is your kid. Then they're going to have one for the parent, and then they're going to have one for the teacher. So you're going to get those three things. And now what you are able to do, you're able to learn and find out how did your child learn best. So it's a great tool. If your child is struggling in school, I believe this is a great tool for them to take. This assessment will help you understand how best your child learned. We learn differently. And when we can learn how the best way to go about learning, now we know how to effectively teach them. Now, this one is dealing more of, I think, more advanced, dealing with more of your 11th grade, your seniors, possibly your college student. This is more of an assessment for them, because now what this does, this kind of guide them in a career area for which they're looking to go to college or pursue. This way, dealing with your personality strength, the areas where they're strong at. They're going to look their learning style. They're going to look at their potential careers for which they're going to go in. That's what this is for. And the last one is dealing with, this is the more detailed one. This is college level, or like I said, you're a senior or junior high school. This can be something you can take as well. It's going to give you 6 student workbook. It's created to help improve your GPA. We want to make sure you make the best grade possible. So by doing these things, by doing that assessment, it is great for you, a great tool to have, and it's definitely something that you will benefit from. So family, I want to thank everyone for listening in to the information that I provided today. If you would like to take the assessment, you can go to my website, www.dennisnickens.com. You can take the assessment, or you can email me at www.dennis.s.nickens@gmail.com, or you can email me at www.tpllc2020@gmail.com. Either one of those websites, or if you go to my website, you can hit contact. You can click on contact, and I will receive the information, any type of feedback you want to give me. So I want to thank everyone for coming on and listening to me today. Hopefully you receive something that's beneficial based upon what I provided to you. God bless, Godspeed, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.